I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I'm born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. Yes, I really love my job. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Yes, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. We're disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted.
All right. Good morning, Firmly Rooted family. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries. It is Monday morning, and I am concerned that I'm the only one on board. So, are we not broadcasting properly? Looks like we are. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on Twitter. I'm live on Rumble. Where is everybody? Huh. I feel like I must have done something wrong because Ken Gooch and Bert Reggiani and the normal crew are not on, but I'm on. All right. Well, we'll keep going. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Luke chapter 11. When Jesus had finished speaking, a Pharisee invited him to eat with him. So he went in and reclined at the table, but the Pharisee was surprised that Jesus did not wash his hands first before the meal. He didn't say anything. He's thinking it inside his head, but Jesus knows and says to him, "Now then," listen carefully to Jesus' words. "You Pharisees, you clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside you are full of greed and wickedness. You foolish people, Did not the one who made the outside make the inside also? The Pharisees not only had the law of the Old Testament, but they made a bunch of other rabbinical laws, a bunch of other ceremonial laws, washing hands, doing this, doing that. They qualified what it meant to work on the Sabbath day. They played around with all of these kinds of things. And they oftentimes did all these little nitpicky things, but they neglected the most important things. And so Jesus says, you clean the outside of a cup, but you leave the inside full of greed and wickedness. You foolish, foolish people. Did not the one who made the outside make the inside also? But now, as for what is inside you, how about be generous to the poor and everything will be clean for you? How about take care of widows and orphans? How about quit sacrificing so that everybody sees how much you're sacrificing and what you're doing and you're showing off to human beings? And how about go take care of a fellow man? How about love your neighbor? Woe to you, Pharisees, because you give a tenth of your mint and your rue and all kinds of garden herbs. You nitpick all these little rules, but you neglect justice and the love of God. You end up doing all these do's and don't do the major do's, which is to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, strength, and love your neighbors yourself. How in the world can you be chewing on these little gnats and swallow a camel, you guys? That's what he's saying to the Pharisees. How can you guys know my word and so warp it and so twist it that you make yourself unqualified to be in my word? You think you're my people, but you're not my people. You've made laws and rules that bind people up. You've destroyed the true meaning of what my word is. You neglect justice and the love of God, which are God's primary characteristics. He says you should have practiced the latter without leaving the former undone. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be tithing. You should be tithing your stuff, but you should remember why you're tithing and what's the reason for the tithing. It's about God's love. It's about making sure that the Levites and the religious leaders are taken care of. Why? Because they're taking care of fellow man, widows and orphans. How can we get so religious so fast and oftentimes forget the very reason, the true reason behind the discipline or behind the rule? Verse 43, woe to you, Pharisees, because you love the most important seats in the synagogue and respectful greetings in the marketplace. Woe to you, because somehow you've turned my word into being all about you. You walk around like you're fulfilling my word. You walk around with your nose up in the air and judge everyone else around you and don't realize that you're being judged by the very word you're neglecting. Verse 44, woe to you because you are like unmarked graves, which people walk over without knowing it. Eeks. You think that all the attention you're getting is getting you attention? From the kingdom of God's perspective, you are unmarked graves where the poor and the lepers get thrown in and nobody knows their name, and decades later people are just walking over those sites. Wow. Jesus is just pummeling these religious leaders. Why? because they bear the responsibility to preach the gospel. They bear the responsibility to lead people to the promise, and they lost the promise. They created their own legalistic system that only they qualified for, and everyone else was out. I mean, nothing the Pharisees were doing was ultimately true to God's character and to his word. It just makes no sense. All right, we'll leave it at that. Let's see who came on board. I'm on board. Karen Thompson, good morning. Vivian Davis, good morning. Chuck B, good morning. Steve Ponoworski, good morning. Bert, good morning. Nikki, good morning. All right, everybody. At first, there was nobody on when I got on. I didn't know what. Oh, there's Alice. Alice is on Rumble. Good to have her on board. All right, everybody. Blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.